Please welcome Chris Grimler, Director of Marketing at GBTA. Chris, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ricky. And thank you, everyone, for taking time to learn more about GBTA membership and how you can take your career to the next level. I really appreciate it. I know everyone has a busy schedule, so taking about half an hour. I really appreciate that. First off, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Dave L. Boston Coach. Dave L. has been a key sponsor of convention and first-timers. I also want to extend a special thanks to the President and CEO of Dave L. Boston Coach, Scott Salambrino. He's been a longtime GBTA board member and president of the Allied Leadership Council. He's donated countless hours to GBTA. So thank you to both Scott and Dave L. Boston Coach for their continued partnership with GBTA. So real quickly about me. So I'm Chris Grimler, Director of Marketing here at GBTA. And before I was with GBTA, I was with the Washington Wizards, where I spent 6 years in their marketing department. Over the past years here at GBTA, past 7 years on the membership team, I've really helped to spread the word about membership and show how benefits can help business travel professionals excel in their career. And hopefully I'll be able to share some of those tips with you today. So a little bit of housekeeping before I dive into the presentation. I want to give a quick membership overview so everyone understands the terminology that I may be using throughout this presentation. So there are 2 different member types. We have direct members, which are going to be buyers. So if you're a travel buyer, you fall into that category. And allied members, so that would be a travel supplier. Also, we have 3 different membership levels. An industry membership is a membership with the Global Business Travel Association. So at gbta.org, you would sign up for that membership. On the community side of our membership level, there's a GBTA chapter membership, and we have 40 chapters spread out across the U.S. And if you have both industry and community, that's a GBTA All Access membership, so you get the best of both sides of membership. So that's a lot, so hopefully everyone is on the same page and we can continue. So you're in good company. So GBTA is the leading association for business travel in the world. We just had a 50-year celebration at our 2018 GBTA convention. We have over 9,000 industry and community members, and we're growing every day. 80% of our Fortune 100 buyer members, 80% of Fortune 100 companies are buyer members of GBTA. And then we also have travel suppliers that cover all segments of the industry. So that means that we're going to have a number of different travel suppliers for any segment that you're looking at, which is good to have that large group. We have the highest attended events with over 20,000 registrations annually. So if you're attending an event, you're going to have the opportunity to meet new people, new travel buyers, new suppliers. We also provide industry-leading research. Our research team is consistently launching new research. We have new webinars, and I'll be talking more about that a little bit later. And we also have 39 local chapters. So if you need local networking on a chapter level in a local area, we have that as well. So these are some of the challenges that we have found that business travel professionals face. These are sentiments that we hear in surveys from members and also discussions that we on the membership team have at events on the phone. So the first one is networking with industry peers. It's always a challenge to find new contacts that share the same type of responsibility that you do as well, or also finding new suppliers. So networking is always a challenge. Staying ahead of business travel changes. So we all know business travel changes very fast. How can you keep up with those changes and get your day-to-day work completed as effectively as possible? And with those changes comes the challenge of solving problems. So with all these new changes in the business travel, across the business travel landscape, how do you find new solutions to new problems that you're faced with on a daily basis? And then shaping the industry. How can I, as a GBTA member, help to shape the industry? So we'll dive into all of this. So first, reconnecting and making new connections. So first and foremost, at GBTA events, we have 400 events globally. That's both on the chapter level, GBTA, and with other partners. So there's an opportunity really wherever you are to take part in a GBTA event. And I mentioned this before, that with 20,000 total registrants globally, you're going to have the opportunity to meet with new industry professionals in the business travel industry. And then we also have opportunities to connect before the event, during the event, and after through mobile apps, through GBTA Hub, and other tools that we do offer. Just a quick snapshot of some of the upcoming GBTA events. This doesn't include any of the local chapter events, but You can always check out all the events that we have coming up at gbta.org/events. So 2 conferences, one in Mexico, one in Toronto, and then our biggest event, which is GBTA Convention. We're expecting over 7,000 attendees, a full slate of networking, education, and then we'll have an expo opportunity. And I'd say that those 3 facets, networking, education, and an expo opportunity, are pretty consistent across most of our events that you'll find that. So you'll find those opportunities at the majority of GBTA events. Let's talk about the member directory on the GBTA Hub. So I do want to give a quick GBTA Hub overview. The GBTA Hub is an online collaboration tool for all GBTA members that really gives you the ability to do 4 key things. First, you can connect and network with GBTA members from all segments of the business travel industry. Second, this is where we house all of our business travel research, reports, white papers, RFP templates, archived webinars. So this is really the central platform for all of that. You can keep up with industry announcements, news, information. You can set up different email sends. So if there's certain things that you want to keep on top of, you can certainly do that within the system. And then we have, all members kind of flow into the system. We are cognizant of privacy, so there are privacy controls. So once you are a member and you're in the GBTA Hub, you can set privacy controls for the amount of information you'd like to share. So I mentioned that on the previous slide talking about events. This is a great way to connect with other members ahead of an event or after an event. So another great feature of the Hub are the online member forums. So this gives you the ability to really participate in these active industry discussions on a wide range of emergent issues. We also have a buyers only group. So if you're a travel buyer and you're looking to connect with other members about any other topic, just from a travel buyer level, you can do that. And actually, I remember back when I started, we only had a buyers only listserv. So we've really come a long way. If you know what a listserv is, it's just the ability to send an email, and then everyone on that distribution list receives the email. A conversation that has actually resulted through one of these forums was, I believe it was one buyer was connecting with a peer that provided them information about duty of care, and then in the end, that resulted in a new risk management supplier being selected. So the conversations here are important, and they can lead to new business and really just getting questions answered that you may not have the ability to answer in your day-to-day role. I talked a little bit about the chapters earlier. So there's 39 chapters across the U.S. Here's a map. So there's coverage across every single, I'd say the majority of the U.S., as you can see. And then you would, if you do become a chapter member, you would designate your one local chapter, and that would get you discounted pricing to all those events. And those events have multiple formats, from educational days to government discussions. And then you have volunteer opportunities both on the chapter level and the industry level. So one other thing to mention, if you are an all-access member, you would get member pricing to all events across all chapters versus just the one that you designate in your initial membership purchase. So another great outlet for networking is through GBTA committees. So if you have a specific area of focus that you have in your role, you could serve on a committee. This is a voluntary basis. You would advise both GBTA leadership and members on the latest trends, developments, and best practices of that particular area of focus. So a couple of different committees that we have. We have a risk committee, accommodations committee, technology committee, and more. So you can certainly check out all the committees we have. We have a page on our site to take a look at all of those. So as I said earlier, the second challenge is really staying ahead of business travel changes. With business travel changing so fast, how do you keep up with consolidation among companies, political changes, new technologies? It's a lot to keep up with, and it's challenging. So some of the ways that our members keep up are through our daily news brief. This is a daily email that is sent to members with pertinent business travel updates. So from anything from risk to other important news, right, that's happening across the industry, trends, different events that we have coming up on the GBTA side. If you're looking for a new role, industry positions are also listed within this daily email. Webinars. So we have about 80 webinars a year that cover really any topic across the industry that you may hear about. All of these are recorded and available on demand. Again, if you're in a committee, you would probably have a role in presenting a webinar. And if you were to join today, you'd have access to all of our archived webinars. I did want to show just top webinars of 2018. So these are the most viewed webinars of 2018, just to give everyone an idea of some of the different content that we provide. So for example, if you're a buyer, you may look at this list and say, these specific webinars would help me, like the global travel forecast. How can I budget for the new year? Travel policy tune-up. What can I do to optimize my travel policy? And those are all great items. But I'd say if you are a travel supplier, you can also look at this from a consultative lens and think about when you're working with travel buyers, how can you help them to improve in their role or reference different research that you have that you've seen in GBTA to help them do their job easier. Because I think in the end, that's what we all want to do is make our jobs a little bit easier and become more efficient. So from the industry research side, we released about we have 2,000 industry-specific research reports in the GBTA Hub. Again, that's kind of the online collaboration tool where we house all of our reports when you can find them as a member across all business travel industry topics. So it's data analysis, trends, and then actionable recommendations. I'd say that's really important, having these recommendations, because it's not just, hey, you look at the data and you try to, you can think about it and try to decide what your next step would be, but having the recommendations takes it that one step further that can really help you in your role. I go back to the, buyers having initiatives they want to complete, and then suppliers being consultative. So two different ways to look at these reports as you're going through those. Again, here's a listing of the top reports of 2018. So I showed you webinars. Here are the reports. I do quickly want to call out the infographic, which I highlighted or I made bold, because if you are looking, let's say you have access to the report, we also are providing infographics on a number of our reports. So depending upon the depth that you're trying to get within these reports, you have the ability to look at maybe more top level at an infographic, or do you want to really dive into the data and really understand in this specific report how technology impacts traveler behavior and safety. So two ways of looking at it, and hopefully it really will help to save time and get you that much more informed about a topic. There's a lot here, right? This really shows the complexity that you all are faced with on a daily basis, and GBTA is here to help you find answers to the problems that you're facing or the challenges that you're up against with by having this much coverage. I do want to show how easy it is to find answers. So if you are, let's say you're searching for a new corporate travel policy and you want to get information on how to enhance your travel policy, you would just go to the hub, which is at hub.gbta.org. You would log into your account. Second step would be to either click on resources or directly search within the search console of the hub. And then here you go. So you have results for corporate travel policy, the different search results. So just looking at the slide, you can sort by event. So if something was discussed at an event, let's say there was a presentation, you would find it there. By year, so if you want to sort by recency, you can do that. And then also by resource type. So I talked about the infographic versus just the full report. And let's just say that you sourced corporate travel policy, you didn't really find what you were looking for. Don't worry, because as a member, you also have access to our dedicated research librarian for members. So Paul Yaknis is our research librarian. He's happy to help any member find more information about a topic that you're looking at that we have research on. So he's here and happy to help all of our members. So back to, business travel is constantly changing. Well, with these changes comes up the need to find new ideas to solve problems that you're faced with. So how can GBTA help you do that? So through education. So we have over 500 education sessions annually at different global events. And if you are looking for specific information, let's say that you are just starting your career in business travel, we have the fundamentals of travel management, which would be a good starting point. If you are more seasoned in the industry, maybe advanced principles of travel management would be a better fit. So we try to have different levels of education that aligns with where you are in the industry. Also, we have the Global Leadership Professional Program, or GLP. So this is I would consider this a master's level course for travel professionals. So once you complete the course, which is broken up into 4 main competencies, including management, marketing, leadership, and finance, you would receive the GLP designation. So I'd say that's more reserved for senior level industry professionals looking to expand their knowledge, just stay current with the latest trends, but it's a great program. So at all of our events, so again, new technology is always coming out in the market, so how do you stay on top of all that new technology? You can certainly attend events where we have all of our exhibitors, so convention, 400 exhibitors. Across all of our events, we have over 1,000 exhibitors, so there's definitely opportunities to come with those challenges you're facing, talk to suppliers, talk to your peers, and figure out how you can really address some of those challenges. Also at our events, like I mentioned before, it's networking, exhibiting, and education, so those education sessions where you can certainly accomplish those tasks as well. How can you shape the industry? What can you do to help shape the industry, an individual member? Volunteering. So we have a number of volunteer opportunities. I talked about committees. We also have task forces. We also have chapters and board of directors. So there's a number of different opportunities for volunteering, and we look forward to having additional volunteers. Speaking. So as I talked before, if you are on a committee, you would have the opportunity to present and speak at local events, regional, global. Also the opportunity to submit a proposal for a webinar or to speak at GBTA convention. I should also mention that if you are interested in speaking at GBTA convention, the call for proposals closes tomorrow at midnight, so time is of the essence on that one. And then through research. So if you serve on a global task force or a committee, you're going to have a voice in shaping the discussion about these major industry initiatives. You and the group that you're working with will certainly put together, white papers or other reports to help, further the business travel industry and in the direction that we're headed. So I did want to wrap up with this final slide about the government relations success of 2018. So you can see here 4 new laws were enacted based on GBTA advocating across the globe for these policies to better the business travel industry, including the 5-year authorization budget for the FAA, so some really great wins. I did talk to Shane Downey, who's our VP of Government Relations, about this list of accomplishments. And he told me that it came about because of GBTA members that attended our legislative summit. That was an event that I mentioned earlier. This takes place in DC, and it really gives members the chance to speak with their members of Congress to be the voice of the industry. So these were issues that members had pushed for previously, and they are now coming into law, right? So having a presence and having constituents that really can push these laws over the top is very important. So this is, one of the impact of being a member and being active with your membership. If you are interested in the event, Legislative Summit is in Washington, D.C. from May 14th to 16th. So kind of to wrap it all up, I talked about the 4 challenges that business travel professionals face, networking, business travel changes, solving problems, shaping the industry. So hopefully you have a nice idea of how a GBTA membership can help to overcome those challenges and help you to find solutions. So if you are ready to join or become a member of the 3 different levels that I spoke of earlier, if you just want community, you would designate a local chapter, and the cost is $175. If you wanted the industry membership, which is more the global membership at gbta.org, the cost is $370 for a direct member, $420 for an allied or a supplier member. Then an all-access membership, which is both industry and community, is $495 for direct, $545 for allied, with a $50 savings if you bundle them both. So I do want to thank everyone for attending. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I also want to, again, thank our sponsor, Dave L. Boston Coach. And if you need more information, I've listed some links here and my contact information if you have any questions. I don't know if there's any other questions to answer. Let me just take a look. Feel free to type in any questions. Okay, so I have one question here. So if I join in a country other than the U.S., do I still get all the benefits? Yes. So all memberships are global if you join on the industry level. So if you join in the U.K., you would have all the same benefits that someone in the U.S. would have, all of the discounts on our membership. Just another question. Does GBTA ever offer scholarships to students who are seeking a master's? So I'd have to get more information about that. So if you want to send me an email, I can certainly follow up with you on that. I'm not familiar with the program currently, but please send me an email. So I have another question. As a ground transportation provider, what are my benefits? So I pretty much went through all the types of benefits you're going to receive. You're going to receive discounts to all events, all GBTA events, as if you're an industry member. I'll go back to the slide. You get discounts to all events, discounts on education. You'd have access to GBTA Hub, which is the online collaboration tool to reach out to other prospective members. Also, all of our industry research, webinars. So there's a number of different benefits that you would receive as a member. What is the difference between direct and allied? So a direct member is a travel buyer, so someone who their role is really purchasing membership. Purchasing business travel products and services. And allied is a travel supplier, like a really high level. So you could work in HR and have purchasing power and still be eligible to be a member. A 370 industry membership does not get me a membership to New York City BTA, right? That is correct. That would not get you membership to New York City BTA. You'd have to go, if you wanted both the industry and community membership, you'd want to purchase an all access. Yeah, if anyone wants more information about the GTP program, just you can email me at cgrindler. Okay. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me. Thank you all.